Kale drifted through the silent darkness of space with a tired heart and an empty future. His small ship shivered each time the engines tried to breathe, and every warning light glowed like a dying ember. He had traveled from system to system, searching for a place that would accept him, yet every world turned him away. To his own species, he was a failure, an outcast with no honor. To other races, he was a threat or a strange creature who did not belong. The galaxy felt wide but lonely, and Kale had spent too many nights staring into the cold stars, wondering why he was even alive. Food was low. Fuel was almost gone. The air inside the ship tasted stale. Kale knew he could not last long. As he watched the navigation screen flash weakly, he spotted a small human colony planet near his position. A small hope stirred inside him. Humans were known to be unpredictable, yet surprisingly open-hearted. Some feared aliens, yet many welcomed strangers and built bonds faster than any other race. It was a risk, but the only chance left. As Kale aimed his ship toward the blue-green world, the engines let out a harsh cry. The ship dived through the atmosphere like a falling stone. Fire burned across the hull. Kale held the controls tightly and whispered a promise to himself that he would live long enough to touch the ground. The ship crashed into a dusty clearing. Near the edge of the colony, smoke rose into the air. Kale crawled out slowly, struggling to move his injured leg. Before he could take more than 2 steps, armed human guards surrounded him. Their weapons hummed with energy. Their eyes were sharp and ready. Kale lifted his hands to show he meant no harm. He had faced many enemies, yet he did not wish to fight. The guards shouted commands telling him to kneel and stay still. Kale listened. Quietly. He was too tired to resist. Just when the tension grew thick enough to break, 2 young voices shouted from behind the guards. The crowd parted as twin girls walked forward with fearless steps. They looked almost identical, with dark hair, bright eyes, and clothing that seemed too neat for such a dusty place. They studied Kale with interest, not fear. Their presence alone shifted the air. The older of the twins spoke first. Her voice was soft yet confident. "Do not hurt him. He is not an enemy. We know who he is." Kale frowned in confusion. He had never seen these humans before. How could they know anything about him? The guards hesitated, then lowered their weapons slightly. The younger twin stepped closer and smiled in a way that felt unsettling and gentle at the same time. "You came just in time," she said. "We have been waiting for you." Kale stared at them, wondering if this was a trick or some strange dream born from exhaustion. "I am only looking for shelter," he said. "I do not want trouble." The twins exchanged a look. Something silent passed between them, as if they shared thoughts. The older one nodded, then turned to Kale again. "We can give you a home and safety and a place to belong," she said. Kale felt a small spark of hope flicker inside him. Yet the next words she spoke froze him completely. "But there is one condition. You must agree to marry our father." Everything around Kale seemed to stop. The wind fell quiet. The guards looked shocked. Even the damaged ship behind him creaked softly, like it did not believe what it heard. Kale blinked slowly, thinking he misunderstood. "You want me to do what?" he asked. The younger twin clasped her hands, as if she were presenting a simple request. "Marry our father. If you do that, we will protect you. We will give you a home. You will never be hunted again." Kale felt the weight of her words push against his chest. He had traveled across the stars to find safety, and now he stood on a human world listening to an offer that made no sense. Why him? Why marriage? Why would humans ask an alien stranger for something so personal and strange? Yet the twins looked at him with eyes full of certainty, as if they already knew he would change their world, as if they knew he had no other path. Kale sensed something hidden behind their innocent smiles, something deep and dangerous, something connected to fate. And for the first time in a long time, He wondered if the galaxy had plans for him after all. Asterisk. Kale followed the twin girls through the colony with slow, uncertain steps. His legs still hurt from the crash, but his mind hurt more from the strange offer they had given him. Marry their father. The words kept echoing again and again as if they refused to leave him alone. He had expected fear from the humans, or anger, or even rejection, but not this. Not something so unexpected that his thoughts could hardly keep up. The colony around him was peaceful in a quiet, strange way. Wooden houses stood beside metal structures. Children ran across open paths with laughter, while adults checked tools. And machines that hummed gently. It was a place that felt alive, yet something hid beneath the surface, like a shadow behind a bright light. Kale noticed how the humans looked at him when they passed by. Some stared wide-eyed with curiosity. Some stepped back nervously. Others whispered behind their hands, yet none attacked him. None raised a weapon. It was unusual for a colony so small and unprotected that the twins walked ahead with a confidence Kale found unsettling. They did not look scared of him. They did not even look surprised by his presence. The older twin, Lyra, kept glancing back with a thoughtful expression. The younger Lena hummed softly as if she was enjoying a casual stroll and not bringing home an alien stranger. Kale paused for a moment and looked around. "You said you were waiting for me," he said. "How is that possible?" "You did not know." "I was coming." Lena turned around with a playful smile. "We knew," she said simply. "Not how or when, but we knew you would arrive." Kale frowned. "That is not an answer." Lyra stopped walking and faced him with a calm, serious expression. "You will understand soon. For now you must trust us." Trust, Kale almost laughed. The galaxy had given him nothing but betrayal and exile. Trust was a rare treasure he no longer carried. Yet something about the twins felt different, not safe but certain. As if they held pieces of knowledge he did not yet understand. They led him to a large building made of stone and reinforced steel. 2 guards stood at the entrance. When the twins approached, the guards stepped aside without a word. Kale noticed the respect in their eyes. The twins were important here. That alone raised more questions. Inside the building, the air felt cooler. Thick curtains blocked most of the sunlight. A long hallway led to a wide room where a tall man stood. Waiting, his presence filled the space with authority. He had a strong build, dark gray hair, and a face marked with years of responsibility. This had to be the father, the one the twins wanted Kale to marry. The man looked at Kale with sharp eyes. "I am Commander Rovan. They tell me you are the one." Kale did not know if that was good or bad. "I came only seeking shelter," he said. "I did not come for anything else." Rovan rubbed his forehead as if this was a problem he had expected. "My daughter should not have spoken before I met you," he said. "But what they told you is not a joke. They are serious." Kale's mind fought to understand. Why would humans ask an alien to marry their leader? Why me? Lyra stepped forward. "Because you can save us." Kale stared at her. The word struck him like a cold shock. "Save you from what?" Rovan took a deep breath and explained. "This colony is in danger. A powerful alien empire is moving through this sector. They destroy every settlement they find. We are next. There's only one way to protect this colony. A unity bond marriage with a being like you. It creates a shield of political protection and spiritual energy. It is ancient and rare, but it works." Kale felt the room grow heavier. "You want me to marry you to protect your colony?" Rovan nodded slowly. "Yes, I do not like it." "You do not like it, but it is the only path left." Kale stepped back. His heart raced. The twins watched him quietly, waiting for his answer. He felt trapped between survival and a future he did not understand. Marrying a human leader. Becoming a guardian to a colony he had just met. It was madness, yet as he looked into the eyes of the twins he saw something strange, a quiet certainty. as if they knew a storm was coming, and he alone could stand against it. Kale realized the truth. He had not crashed here by accident. Something deeper had brought him to this world, something he was not ready to face. Kale stood in the center of the quiet room facing Commander Rovan, while the twins watched from the side like silent guardians. The air felt heavy with unspoken truths. Rovan looked like a man who carried the weight of an entire world on his shoulders. Kale understood that feeling too well. Both were tired in different ways, yet the commander's eyes still held a fire that refused to die. Rovan walked closer, studying Kale with a mix of suspicion and hope. "My daughters believe in signs. They believe you were sent here for a purpose." Kale felt his chest tighten. "I am no hero. I am only an outcast. I do not belong anywhere." Lena stepped forward quickly. "That is why you fit perfectly. Only someone who has no home can form a true unity bond. It is written in the old scrolls. That mother left us." Kale looked at the twins with confusion. "Old scrolls. Ancient laws. Why are you following something that sounds like a myth?" Lyra lowered her gaze. "Our mother was a seer, not a storyteller. She saw patterns in time and left warnings. She said an alien without a home would come and the colony would depend on him." Kale felt the words settle into the deepest part of his mind. He did not believe in destiny, yet something about their tone made him uneasy. Rovan motioned for him to sit. "There is more you need to know." Kale sat down slowly. Rovan remained, standing as if sitting would weaken him. 5 cycles ago, our colony was thriving. Then the Dravox Empire started destroying worlds near us. They want this land for resources. They do not negotiate. They attack. We tried to send messages for help, but the nearest human fleet is too far away. Kale listened quietly. He had heard of the Dravox, a merciless race fueled by conquest. "What does this have to do with me?" Rovan crossed his arms. "There is an ancient interspecies pact known as the Unity Law. If a colony binds itself through marriage to a being outside their species, the Dravox cannot touch them. It is part of a treaty older than any human government." Kale blinked slowly. "You want me to marry you so your people can survive?" Rovan gave a humorless smile. "I do not care about the marriage part. I care about their safety. If I must bind myself to an alien to protect them, I will do it." Kale felt anger rise unexpectedly. "You think I am some tool? Some shield you can use?" Lyra shook her head strongly. "No, that is not it. You misunderstand. The unity bond does not just protect us. It protects you too. Once the bond is made, the Empire cannot hunt you. You will finally have a place where you belong." The word belong struck Kale like a hidden blade. He had longed for that feeling all his life, yet he feared it too. Belonging meant risking heartbreak. It meant trusting someone again. Something he had not done since the day his own people cast him into exile. Kale stood up and stepped away from the table. "Why me? The galaxy is full of aliens. Why not choose someone stronger or someone who wants this?" Lena spoke softly. "Because you survived something no one else could. You carry a rare energy inside you. We saw it when you landed. You are connected to the ancient bond in a way no other alien is." Kale narrowed his eyes. "You saw it. How?" Lyra hesitated, then spoke in a quiet voice. "We have visions. Not clear ones, not full ones, small flashes. Our mother had the same gift. We see danger. We see paths. And we saw you shining like a light in the darkness. It means you are the one who can save us." Kale felt the room spin slightly. He did not want this responsibility. He did not want to be the chosen savior of a colony he barely knew. Yet deep inside he felt a soft voice whisper that this was not coincidence. Something had brought him here. Something old and powerful. Rovan placed a hand on the twins' shoulders. "I will not force you. But time is short. The Dravox fleet is near. If you refuse, we all die. If you agree, we have a chance. Kale looked at their faces. The commander's strength, Lyra's certainty, Lena's hope. All waiting for his answer, but before he could speak, a loud alarm echoed through the building. Guards rushed in with panic in their eyes. Commander, enemy ships detected above the atmosphere. They are coming. Kale felt the world shift again. He had no time left. His choice was now tied to survival. The alarm echoed across the entire colony like a scream from the sky. The ground vibrated under Kale's feet as the first blast shook the horizon. Dust rained down from the ceiling while the guards scrambled for their gear. Commander Rovan grabbed his rifle and shouted orders with a voice sharp enough to cut through the panic. Everyone to battle stations. Move now. Protect the civilians. Lyra and Lena stood frozen for a moment before Lena turned to Kale with wide, frightened eyes. They came faster than we expected. We thought we had more time. Kale stepped toward the window and looked up at the sky. Dark shapes pierced through the clouds like metal shadows. Dravok ships, sleek, deadly. Their engines roared as they descended toward the colony. Kale felt a familiar chill crawl across his skin. He had seen these ships before. He had watched them destroy worlds without mercy. Rovan rushed past him. If you have any skills that can help us, this is the moment. Otherwise, find shelter. Kale's heart pounded. He did not know if he could help. He barely trusted his own strength after the long journey. Yet something inside him awakened as the Dravok's fleet approached, a quiet force, a memory of power he once feared to use. His bones vibrated with it. I will help, Kale said. Rovan stopped and looked back. His eyes widened with surprise and relief. Then stay close. We need every fighter we can get. The twins followed them out of the building into the open colony grounds. The sky burned orange as enemy shots struck the earth, sending waves of fire into the air. Humans ran for cover. Children cried. Soldiers formed defense lines near the front gates. The Dravok ships landed with thundering impact, and large armored warriors poured out ready for battle. Kale took a deep breath. He had fought before, but never for a place that asked him to stay. This time felt different. The colony did not see him as a weapon. They saw him as a last hope. Rovan shouted, "Hold the line. Do not let them pass." The first wave of Dravok's warriors charged. Their armor glowed with red energy. Their voices were harsh and inhuman. Human soldiers fired plasma rifles. Each shot sparked across Dravok's armor, but did not slow them much. The Dravoks were too strong. Too many. Kale watched a group of humans fall back as a towering Dravok soldier swung a heavy blade toward them. Before Kale realized what he was doing, he dashed forward with impossible speed. His injured leg no longer slowed him. A blue light pulsed through his body. He grabbed the Dravok's blade with his bare hand. Sparks exploded around his fingers, but he did not let go. The Dravok's warrior stared at him, shocked that anyone could stop. The strike. Kale pushed forward and sent the warrior flying back with a powerful burst of energy. The ground cracked under the impact. Human soldiers gasped as they witnessed Kale's strength. Some stepped back in fear, others stepped forward. With new courage, Rovan shouted, "Fight with him. Hold the line." Kale charged again, unleashing energy that had slept inside him for years. Every time he struck, the ground shook. The Dravoks pushed back harder, but Kale pushed back even harder. He fought as if protecting something he had not yet named. The colony, the twins, the father. The offer they gave him. Something inside him wanted to protect it all. Lyra and Lena watched from behind a barrier. Lyra whispered, "I told you. He is the one." Lena nodded, "Yes, and now the Dravoks will know it too." A Dravok's commander stepped forward, aiming a heavy cannon at Kale. Kale saw it too late. The blast fired straight toward him. Human soldiers screamed for him to move, but the world slowed around Kale. The energy inside him swirled. He raised his arms and a blue shield appeared in front of him. The blast hit the shield and split into harmless sparks. Shock rippled across both armies. Rovan shouted, "He can shield. Protect him, push forward." The humans rallied behind Kale. Their fear melted into determination. They fired with renewed strength. The Drevok stumbled under the combined force of Kale's power and human courage. Kale felt his energy burning bright. Too bright. It hurt, yet he refused to stop. He pushed the Drevoks back until the last of them retreated toward their ship. The fleet lifted off and disappeared into the sky, leaving destruction behind. But leaving the colony alive, silence settled over the battlefield. Smoke drifted through the air. Kale stood breathing hard. His body shook from the effort, but he remained standing. Rovan approached slowly. "You saved us. Without you, we would have fallen." Kale looked at the frightened yet grateful faces around him. "I did what I had to do." Lena walked toward him with a soft smile. "You did what destiny wanted you to do." Kale did not answer. He looked up at the sky, knowing the attack was only the beginning. The Drevoks would return. And this time they knew exactly who he was. The battlefield still smoked under the late afternoon sky, while the colony gathered around the ruins. Some humans cried in relief. Some prayed quietly. Others stared at Kale as if he were a miracle they never expected. Kale stood near a broken wall trying to catch his breath. His body felt heavy after using so much power. His hands still trembled from the impact of the shield he created. He did not understand how he had done it. The memory of the energy inside him felt like a dream that refused to fade. Rovan walked past the soldiers, checking wounds and giving instructions. His steps were steady, but his face carried a shadow of worry. He knew the Drevoks would return with greater strength. This attack was only a warning, a test. Kale could see the fear hidden inside the commander, even though Rovan tried hard to hide it. Lyra and Lena approached Kale quietly. Their clothes were covered in dust, yet their eyes still shined with the same strange certainty. Lyra spoke first. "You did more than protect the colony. You activated something inside yourself." Kale looked at her with confusion. "I do not understand what happened. That power is not something I use. It was never so strong." Lena sat on a nearby rock and watched him closely. "It was always inside you. You only needed a reason to let it out. The bond is already starting, even though the ceremony has not begun." Kale froze. "What bond? I did not agree to anything yet." Lyra stepped closer and placed a hand over her heart. "The unity bond is not just a political act. It is a spiritual link. It begins when the chosen one accepts a place in the colony, even if he does not speak the words. The moment you chose to save us, you formed the first thread." Kale shook his head. "I did not choose anything. I reacted to danger. Anyone would have done the same." Lena smiled softly. "No, not anyone. Many would have run. Many would have saved only themselves. But you protected our father. You protected people who showed you fear. You protected us. That is what the bond responds to." Kale looked away, unable to meet their gaze. He felt overwhelmed by their certainty, as if they already knew more about him than he knew about himself. Rovan approached them, wiping sweat from his face. "The twins tell the truth. Something awakened in you today. I have never seen a shield like that from any species. Not even from warriors trained for battle." Kale crossed his arms. "I do not know what you expect from me. I did what I could. But the Drevoks will come back stronger. I cannot fight them forever." Lena exchanged a look with Lyra, then stood up with a serious expression. "That is why we must tell you the truth now. You deserve to know who we really are." Kale felt tension rise again. "Who you are? What do you mean?" Lyra took a deep breath. "Our mother was not just a seer. She was part of an ancient order that studied cosmic bonds. She saw visions of danger and wrote prophecies in the scrolls she left behind. Before she died, she told us that two things would save this colony. One was our father. The other was a wanderer from the stars who carried a lost power. Kale felt strange heat spread across his skin. Lost power. That cannot be me. I was cast out by my own species. They said I was weak. Lena stepped closer and placed her palm lightly on his arm. They feared you. That is why they exiled you. They saw something growing inside you, something rare, something that could break ancient limits. Kale felt his throat tighten. He had never considered that possibility. He always believed he was removed because he was useless, because he did not fit their expectations. Lyra continued, when the ceremony is complete and the bond is sealed, your power will grow stronger. You will not be fighting alone. The bond connects our energy to yours. You become protector and we become your anchor. Together we can face the Drevox. Kale stared at them, stunned. You speak as if this is already decided. As if fate controls everything. Lena gave him a sad, gentle smile. Fate offers paths, not chains. You can still choose. But know this. If you walk away, the colony will fall. And the Drevox will chase you again across the stars. Kale turned away, overwhelmed. He felt anger, fear, hope, pain, and confusion all twisting inside him. He wanted to run from this truth, yet something held him in place. Something deeper than fear. Something very close to belonging. Rovan rested a hand on his shoulder. You saved us once, but the next time you may not have enough strength alone. Think carefully, Kale. We need you. And whether you admit it or not, you need us too. Kale closed his eyes. The twins waited quietly. The colony breathed in silence, and Kale realized he was standing at the edge of a choice that would decide more than a battle. It would decide who he truly was. Asterisk night settled over the damaged colony like a heavy blanket. Fires had been put out. Wounded were treated. Families gathered in silence. Yet even in the quiet, the fear of the next attack clung to the air. Kale walked between the broken structures, feeling the sorrow of the people around him. He had saved them once, but he knew the Drevox would not accept defeat. They would return with an army much stronger than before. Commander Rovan entered the large hall with slow, measured steps. His uniform was torn, but his posture remained firm. He looked as if nothing could break him, yet there was a tired ache in his eyes. Lyra and Lena stood on either side of him, wearing ceremonial clothes made of white cloth with bright blue lines flowing down the sleeves. Kale recognized the color. It matched the energy that had awakened inside him during the battle. Rovan addressed Kale in a steady voice. The people are afraid. They know the Drevox will come again. The only way to protect them is to complete the unity bond. We must begin the ceremony tonight. Kale hesitated. The ceremony meant accepting a life he never imagined. A new identity. A new family. A responsibility heavier than any weight he had carried before. Once the bond is made, there is no turning back, he said. Lyra stepped toward him. We understand, but you will not be alone. The bond will connect our energy to yours. The colony will become your shield, and you will become ours. Kale looked at the twins. Their expressions held both hope and fear. They were not children playing a strange game. They were vision holders, protectors of a future they believed in. Kale realized he trusted them more than he trusted his own memories. Rovan lifted an ancient metallic ring carved with swirling symbols. It glowed faintly when it neared Kale. This ring is part of the ceremony. When you touch it, the bond will begin to awaken fully. Kale reached out slowly, and before he could touch the ring, a distant rumble shook the hall. Everyone froze. The lights flickered. A guard rushed inside, breathless. Commander, energy spike detected. Something is disturbing our shield network. Kale felt a cold spark hit the back of his mind. Someone inside the colony is working against us. Rovan tightened his hold on the ring. Who would betray us now? Kale closed his eyes, focusing on the energy around him. The power still lived inside him like a faint heartbeat. He felt a strange pull toward the north wall of the colony. There, someone is sending a signal. Rovan motioned to his guards. Move, now. They rushed toward the walls. Kale followed them. Lyra and Lena stayed close behind him, their steps quick and silent. When they reached the north sector, Kale spotted a shadowy figure crouched near an old transmitter. Wires were exposed and glowing with red Dravox code. Kale shouted, "Stop!" The figure turned. It was a human soldier. A man Kale had seen fighting earlier. His face twisted with fear and desperation. "They will kill us if we do not obey them." The man cried, "The Dravox promised to spare me. I only needed to give them your location." Rovan stepped forward with rage in his voice. "You betrayed your own people." Before the soldier could explain further, a violent blast hit the wall. Kale threw himself in front of the twins as debris exploded around them. The sky outside lit up with red fire. Dravox ships descended again, larger, heavier, deadlier. The traitor screamed and ran toward the wall, but a Dravox soldier fired from above, and he fell instantly. Rovan ducked behind cover, yelling. They were waiting for this. The ceremony must have frightened them. Kale felt panic trying to break into his chest. The ceremony had not even begun, and already everything was falling apart. We cannot complete the bond like this. The enemy will destroy us before it starts. Lyra placed her hand on Kale's arm and stared into his eyes with calm strength. No, we must continue. You are strongest when you protect. That is when your true power comes through. The bond will answer your heart, not the ritual alone. Lena added, the Dravox fear you. That is why they attacked so quickly. If we finish the bond even in battle, they cannot touch us. Kale watched. The sky burned with enemy fire. Soldiers ran in panic. Buildings fell. The colony he had started to care for was collapsing. Something ignited inside him again. A fierce determination. A protective force. Rovan gripped the glowing ring and shouted over the chaos. Kale, choose now. Stand with us and become our shield, or let the Dravox take everything. The ground shook as enemy forces landed. Kale stood between destruction and destiny. He reached for the ring, but before he could touch it, the roof above them cracked open and a massive Dravox warrior landed right in front of him. Its armor glowed with dark power. Its voice roared through the hall. We have come for the one called Kale. He belongs to us. Kale stepped forward with a fire in his eyes that had never burned so bright. No, he said. I belong to them. The massive Dravox warrior towered over Kale like a living mountain. Its red armor pulsed with dark power, and its heavy blade hummed with cruel hunger. Smoke drifted across the broken hall while fires raged outside the shattered walls. The colony trembled under the weight of the approaching enemy forces. Yet Kale stood still with a calm he had never known before. His choice was made. The bond had started even before the ceremony. His heart had chosen these people. Lyra and Lena held each other behind him. Rovan pulled them back as the Dravox warrior stepped forward with a deep growl. You refuse the Empire. You defy your own fate. You cannot fight us alone. Kale lifted his head. I am not alone, not anymore. The warrior swung its blade at Kale. The world moved in a flash. Kale raised his arm and blue energy burst from his skin. The blade struck the shield that formed around him and shattered into glowing fragments. The Dravox warrior staggered back in shock. The shield around Kale grew brighter and brighter until it lit the entire hall with a living blue glow. Lyra whispered, The bond is accepting him already. Lena nodded. He's becoming the protector we saw in our visions. The Dravox warrior roared and charged again. Kale met the attack with a strike that sent the creature flying through a stone wall. Outside, more Dravox troops marched through. The flames. Their ships hovered low, firing heavy blasts into the colony. Human soldiers fought bravely, but the enemy kept pushing forward inch by inch. Rovan shouted, "Fall back to the center. Protect the civilians." Kale stepped outside. The night sky burned with red fire. The colony felt like a fragile dream caught inside a storm. The Dravox army advanced in waves. Kale felt their hatred focused on him. He felt their desire to break him. Yet he did not step back. He stepped forward. He raised both hands. Blue energy burst outward in a giant circle like a wave of light. It struck the Dravox soldiers and threw them off their feet. Some crashed into the dirt, some into walls, some into their own ships. The humans stared in awe as Kale walked through the cloud of dust glowing like a star born from the earth. Rovan called out, "With him. Stand with him. This is our moment." Human soldiers formed lines behind Kale. Fear left their faces replaced by fierce determination. They aimed their weapons and fired with a new strength. Shouts echoed across the colony as humans pushed forward. The Dravox tried to regroup, but Kale was already in front of them. A giant Dravox commander stepped off. A large warship. Its armor was thicker and its power stronger than the others Kale had faced. It pointed at Kale with burning red eyes. "You carry Forbidden's energy. You carry a force that belongs only to the ancient houses. Surrender it or die." Kale felt the energy inside him swirl. "I will not surrender. This power is not yours. It is part of me now." The commander lifted a heavy cannon and fired. Kale moved faster than he ever had before. A shield rushed out from his body, stretching wide, enough to protect the humans behind him. The blast hit the shield and spread across its surface like lightning trapped in glass. Kale pushed forward against the shock. The shield held firm. Lyra and Lena watched him with tears in their eyes. "He's becoming stronger," Lyra whispered. "He's becoming who Mother saw in her vision." Kale charged toward the Dravox commander. Energy pulsed from his feet, leaving bright marks in the dirt as he ran. He struck the commander with a force so powerful the ground cracked open. The commander fell to its knees, roaring in pain. Kale slammed his hand onto its chest and released all the energy he held inside him. A blue explosion filled the night. When it faded, the commander lay silent. The remaining Dravox soldiers hesitated. Their leader had fallen. Their courage broke. They retreated toward their ships in panic. Humans cheered as the enemy fled into the sky. The last ship lifted off, leaving the colony in a storm of dust. Silence fell again. Not of fear, but of relief. Kale stood breathing heavily. His energy dimmed, but did not disappear. Rovan walked toward him slowly and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You saved us again. The bond is already forming. We must finish the ceremony." Lyra and Lena stepped forward. "You do not have to marry because of duty anymore," Lyra said. "You can choose us because we choose you," Lena added. Kale looked at the colony, the humans watching him with gratitude, the twins waiting with hope, Rovan standing with quiet respect. For the first time in his life, Kale felt the warm weight of belonging settle into his heart. "I choose this family. I choose this home," he said. The bond lit the sky with blue light as it completed itself. Peace settled across the colony, but Kale knew this was only the beginning. A new future waited for him. A future where he was no longer an outcast. He was a protector, a partner, a legend rising in the HFY universe.